Hello everybody, I'm the CEO of Terrami Solutions Company and I'm delighted to welcome you all to Terrami's educational program. These sessions are designed to enhance our knowledge, share best practices, and collectively contribute to a more sustainable and responsible work environment. At the outset, I'd like to state that ESG and the circular economy are central to Trami's strategy. In alignment with this strategy, we are launching a comprehensive training program on these subjects. This presentation, along with the subsequent web sessions, is part of a series of events that planned for the remainder of 2026. These sessions are designed to enhance our knowledge, share best practices, and collectively contribute to a more sustainable and responsible work environment.
Today, in first session, I'll introduce the concept of ESG, that widely used framework for assessing how organizations manage their environmental impact, social responsibility, and governance practices. This presentation will briefly explain each pillar and discuss the growing importance of ESG in business and society. It aims to provide a clear foundation for understanding the topics. As you see in this slide, we face numerous challenges from climate change, that is multidimensional issue, to corruption, that is governance problem. Other challenges like social inequality, public health, compliance, and supply chain responsibility and corruption are still ahead. The question now is, what are we doing to combat these challenges? In over the years, numerous management methods have been developed and implemented to tackle challenges. In this slide, you can see the common management systems, from ISO systems to IMS. Some of them focuses on environment like EMS and EIA, and other focuses on social or economic. For example, EVA, economic value added, is focuses on economic and how a company can get incomes or profits, and what is the indirect economics and direct economics at the business. You can see the ISO standards. ISO standards give organization a structure and internationally recognized way to manage quality, environment, safety, and other areas. Each of these standards or management systems have advantages and disadvantages. ISO standards usually focus on specific management areas, so they do not automatically solve wider social and strategic issues. Other system is environmental management system, is a framework designed to support companies to reduce their impact on environment. Effectively implementation of EMS required training, data, monitoring, and continuous effort. And next system, and then from the common systems is environmental impact assessment. EIA is useful because it helps identify possible environmental impacts before a project starts. In this system, we forecast, evaluate, and assess many impacts from the environment, from social area, from economic areas. Like other systems, EIA has its pros and cons. Corporation social responsibility refers to voluntary social and community initiatives, often motivated by reputation and goodwill rather than strict regulation. A significant disadvantage of CSR is greenwashing, which occur when an organization spends significantly more resource on green advertising than on environmentally sound practices. Economic value added is a financial performance measure that evaluates how effectively a company generates values for its shareholders. Economic value added is a purely financial metrics without considering social and environmental areas. Integrated management system as a whole system, as an amalgamated system, which integrates a set of systems, also has its advantages and disadvantages. EIMS combine several standards like environment, quality, health, and safety into one framework to reduce duplication and specifically costs. So, as you saw, none of common systems are complete and perfect. So, what can we do? The answer to this question lies in a new system, efficient and comprehensive system that covers all aspects, that calls ESG, a new system based on sustainability. ESG stands for environment, social, and governance. It refers to a set of metrics used to measure an organization's environmental and social impact and has become increasingly important in investment decision making over the years. ESG didn't emerge overnight. The history of ESG goes back to socially responsible investing. In the past, some investors sometimes avoided industries like weapon or tobacco because of ethical concerns. Over time, environmental and social movements highlighted issues such as pollution, human rights, and fair trade. Later, corporate scandals and financial crises showed weak governance and ethics. So people started to pay more attention to board quality and internal controls. A key turning point came in 2004 with the UN report, Who Cares Wins, which brought the term ESG into mainstream business and finance. Then in 2006, the Principles for Responsible Investment helped many asset managers and companies about ESG consciously. So ESG evolved from decades of value-based investing, social awareness, and governance reforms. So there is a question, why has ESG become a popular management system? Is popular or not? It's popular. Precisely, it's popular. People are more aware of climate change today. Many people thinking about how to combat climate change, how to reduce greenhouse gases, how to reduce pollutions and inequality as a social factor. So they expect companies to act responsibly. Investors now care not only about profit but also about sustainability and risk. They want to know which companies are well managed and can survive long-term shocks and risks. Social and health crises like the corona pandemic, that's an example, show that resilient and ethical companies can perform better over time. And finally, governments and regulators are introducing new rules that require companies to disclose more ESG and sustainability information. So ESG went from a niche idea to a core part of how we evaluate business. As I said, the first pillar of ESG is environment. It focuses on how a company affects the natural world. The question is in this pillar, the question is, how does the company interact with the planet? Key topics include greenhouse gas emissions, energy consumption, water use, water generation, pollution, and biodiversity are the important keys here. Companies also look at the physical climate risk factors such as floods, heat waves, and sea level rise, which can disrupt operations. The second pillar of the ESG is social. A strong social performance improves trust and reputation. It focuses on people, employees, customers, communities, and workers in the supply chain. Important topics including fair wages, safe working conditions, diversity and inclusion, human rights due diligence, and community engagement. In the digital age, data privacy and fair treatment of customers are also part of this social pillar. Uh, Third pillar, governance, is the last but certainly not the least. It focuses on how the company is actually run. And the question is the company managed fairly, transparently, and responsibly? Key areas including board structure and independence, executive pay, transparency of reporting, ethics policies, anti-corruption measures, and how shareholders can influence decisions. A good governance helps prevent scandals, protects minority shareholders, and ensure that risks are properly monitored. As you see in other systems, this system ESG also have some advantages and disadvantages. Uh, First, ESG helps companies manage risk better by tracking environmental and social issues. They can anticipate problems such as climate-related disruptions and or negative publicity. Second, companies with strong ESG records often enjoy better reputation and trust from customers, employees, and local communities. Many investors now prefer ESG oriented companies, which can increase access to capital and long term competitiveness. Finally, ESG encourage companies to think about resilience and adaptability so they can respond more effectively to change. And about the critics of ESG or disadvantages of ESG, implementing ESG systems and detailed reporting can be expensive and complex, especially for smaller companies that have a problem with costs. It is still difficult to compare ESG performance across firms because of different indicators and standards. There is a risk of greenwashing, like the social system that as I said, in the CSR, corporate social responsibility. In ESG, also we face with the greenwashing. Some companies present an ESG friendly image without real change. And finally, managers may feel pressure to balance short term financial results with long term ESG commitments. So, ESG is valuable, but it must be implemented honestly and truthfully. As a result, to implement a comprehensive ESG system, we require more regulation, standards, and an integration of ESG goals with fundamental business strategies. ESG is a comprehensive framework that links environmental, social, and governance issues to long-term value and risk. It did not replace older systems like ISO standards, EMS, and others. Instead, it combined them with combined them into a more structural and investor relevant approaches. ESG disclosure shows not only how companies affect the world, but also how the world's sustainability challenges affect them.
Well, this presentation was a brief introduction to ESG, and I am happy to answer any question via email. Our email is info@terrami.ca. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope to see you in our upcoming sessions. The next session is a webinar that focuses on ESG frameworks and the KPIs related to these frames. Thank you again, and goodbye.